Hey guys, this is Marshall Kirby from Orchard Hill Farm Equipment in Belchertown, Massachusetts, and today I'm going to be going over our service on this here Kioti CK2610, but this service will also include the whole CK10 series, which includes the 2610, the 3510, and the 4010. It's all going to be basically right about the same full service on this tractor as well as the other models. First I'm going to start out, I got a bunch of things laid out on the ground here. I'm going to start off showing you everything that's good and handy to have with a tractor, and hopefully when you get your tractor, most of the things that I'm going to be showing you, your dealer will give you with your tractor. I know here we give you a care package with most of these things included, with the exception of some of the oils and filters for your service, which is obvious. You gotta, just get that when you're ready for your service. But everything else, it'd be handy if your dealer gives you right up front with your tractor as a nice thing. Okay, so first, I guess we'll start off with everything over here. One thing obviously handy to have around is cleaner. Clean your tractor. It sounds stupid, but cleaning a tractor makes that tractor's value stay there for a long, long time. Don't be afraid to get the tractor dirty. Work it hard and work it good, but don't be afraid to clean it after you're done after a while, because it will save your tractor's life in the long run and add value to that machine. Next is going to be called this diesel supplement, diesel fuel supplement. We call for about a shot glass or two every time you fill up your tractor, or about every 5-gallon drum that you have around. Just mix a shot glass of this in here. Like this one we give you when you buy a tractor, it's good for about 40 gallons. So, probably 3, 4, 5 fill-ups on there, this bottle will be good for. This is just handy in New England because we're always hot and cold with the temperatures, and you got to make sure that with the temperatures your fuel is not getting that condensation and stuff in it, because it will hurt your tractor's startup time and stuff like that. You may get yourself in a bind if your fuel gets too much water condensated in it. Next is going to be a standard 15W40. This is the standard oil that we carry here. It's a high-grade oil, standard 15W40. You can pick this up at most tractor dealerships, or even certain, Napas and stuff everywhere is going to have this stuff. You can also run a synthetic like Rotella or something like that. We recommend if you're going to run that, run it in the beginning. Don't start running it after you do a few services with the regular oil. Pick one or the other and stick with it throughout. Next is going to be your 80-90 weight front axle oil. This is only going to be oil used in the front axle. On this tractor, your front axle is going to be a 1.58 gallons that it takes. After you do, right from the factory, you're going to have 1.58 gallons of UTF fluid, Universal Tractor Hydraulic Fluid, in the front end. That's a break-in fluid. They call for around 100, 150, 200 hours to flush that out. However, again, it's a break-in fluid. So if you're running that tractor and you put a good use on that tractor, doesn't hurt to flush it out, change it, and you're good for another, say, a couple hundred hours. This stuff will last you a while on that front axle. So 80-90 weight gear oil is definitely what you want to put in the front end. Next is handy to have a little bit of a 50-50 blend antifreeze laying around, because your tractor over time may drop down in antifreeze levels. So always keep up with that. You need to have that radiator filled with antifreeze. And it's just a standard 50-50 antifreeze. Next is a nice multi-purpose lithium grease. You can pick this up at most hardware stores, whether it's Napa or whether it's Tractor Supply, or a normal tractor dealership should always have this in stock. Just make sure it's a a good marine grade that's going to keep up with your tractor and not wear down quickly. We recommend on this tractor, every time you grease it, about every 10-15 hours, put only a pump or two of grease in there, and that will do you good on that loader and all the grease fittings on this tractor. Next, which we also include a grease, a bottle of grease when you get your tractor, as well as this right here. This is a grease gun. You can also pick these up at any standard hardware store, Tractor Supply, and stuff like that. We include them with the purchase of your tractor here, just because we know that customers lack on their maintenance sometimes, and it's good to kind of remind them that they have this grease, gun laying around. So it's good to maintain that and always put the fitting on the tractor and grease it up every once in a while. So that's included normally when you buy a tractor here. Next, it sounds stupid, but a business card of the dealership, and with hopefully a cell phone of the dealer that you bought your tractor from, or the salesperson you bought your tractor from. It helps to have that cell phone on hand. Some dealers will be offering that to you at a 24/7 hour service. in case, they're closed on a Sunday and you need to get, a hold of them because something's going on with your tractor. So we offer that here. We give you a card with a cell phone and as well as the regular telephone here. So always have that somewhere stored away safe so you got the cell phone handy. Another good thing is to have a list of all your serial numbers written down. That way, when you call your dealer, if you ever have an issue or something, you have all the serial numbers right there so they know exactly which tractor you're talking about. Next is a key. Usually when you buy a tractor from us, we include 2 keys standard. That way you have one and a spare. Obviously try not to lose those. We always carry these. If you ever lose them, however, always in stock. Next will be these couple pins. This will be an extra pin for one of your top links, as well as a couple standard 3-point hitch cotter pins. These cotter pins are important, and these will tend to fall off after use on an implement. So we also include the keys as well as those few things. Next, which we don't include, but you can pick up at a standard hardware store, again, pretty cheap. It doesn't matter the brand. Just get a nice adjustable wrench. That'll do you good because we'll show you after where you're going to use this on that tractor's service or just checking over your tractor. It's a very, very handy tool. One of, I guess, the most important things is when you buy a tractor, make sure your dealer gives you the books for it. It's very important. Obviously, we include all the manuals with your tractor, your loader books, as well as your tractor service manuals. That'll include everything, basically, that I'm explaining to you today inside these books. So it's handy to have them around. And, like I said, write down your serial numbers. Definitely, if you can write them down in the books, that might even help you even more. That way you never lose those serial numbers. Next is going to be stuff that isn't included, okay? First, we'll have our hydraulic filter, okay? You definitely want to change the hydraulic oil at a recommended rate that's in your book for sure. So one is going to be a hydraulic oil filter. Next, you're going to have an actual hydrostatic filter if you are running a hydrostatic transmission. If it's a standard transmission, a lot of times you only have one hydraulic filter. This runs hydraulic oil through it, however, this is for the transmission specifically. So that will be another filter. The next one we're going to talk about is the air filter. It'll be in this bigger guy here. It's going to be a standard Donaldson air filter that you'll replace in there. You can buy this filter through us here at our dealership, as well as all these other filters. We always have them in stock. However, the air filter is something that you can maintain and let a little bit longer time go out. You can clean it out, suck it out with a vacuum, or blow it out with an air compressor. Next will be your fuel filter. Okay, it's good to change that, especially in New England. Every year or two for sure. And it helps with the moisture and stuff, getting that out of your tractor and having your tractor run good, top notch all the time. And last but not least, probably the most important filter on the tractor would be your standard oil filter for your tractor. So we have the Kioti oil filters. All these are OEM Kioti parts here. We recommend you run with OEM parts and not try and source out other brands, because quite honestly, by the time you do it, you're wasting your time a lot of times, and there really isn't a lot of other companies that even make filters like this size and everything. As well as these are the high quality filters that will clean out the particles if there's any in that tractor. So the standard oil filter, you're running like $15.99 on a Kioti, $14.99. It's cheap. Do it every year. This is the most important filter, as well as the engine oil. Last but not least, there are going to be 2 different types of oils. This is going to be your hydraulic oil. Okay, this is the first one I'm going to show you. There's 2 pails of it, and there's a reason for it. This is a standard hydraulic oil that they don't really tell you too much about. It says it's good for a tractor, says it's good for this and that. Which it is. It will work okay. In New England here, again, hot, cold, this oil specifically condensates water very, very easily. And if you run that in your tractor, it may run okay the first couple days. In a couple weeks or 2, you're going to notice you're going to decrease your lift capacity, decrease your hydraulic outflow pump capacities and stuff by an immense amount, and your tractor will be lagging, and you'll wonder why. That becomes because it's a low-grade oil. Something like this you can pick up at Tractor Supply or a comparable store for only around $35–40. So it's pretty chintzy. You might save a little bit, but when you get to be needing a transmission or a hydraulic pump or something like that down the road, it doesn't become necessary to put this cheap oil. Spend the extra $30 or so for the high quality. The last oil will be this high quality oil. It's a Mahindra oil, which is another company we sell as well. One of the highest quality oils. Kioti does as well, but we just buy our oil in bulk, and sometimes there's better programs with each company depending on the time of the year. So this is the highest quality oil you can buy for that hydraulic oil. It's going to run through everything on the tractor, from the front steering to the loader valve, to the actual hydraulic pumps in this tractor, the transmission, the 3-point hitch, and the backhoe if you have one. So it's very, very important to run high quality oil. So you can pick this up at any tractor, tractor store that's selling a tractor. That's a true tractor dealership. A lot of times they will have all of the hydraulic oils. They'll either have a low grade, a medium grade, and a high grade, but most of the time here we only carry the highest grade because we've seen too many problems with the low grade oils, and lots of problems that we've had to taken care of because of that bottom oil. So spend the extra 30 or 40 bucks. We always say if you're not spending $70+ for a 5-gallon pail, you are getting a very cheap oil, and you should know that from that. So I guess that's everything on the floor here I laid out, and next I'm going to take over and just take the camera and kind of show you guys what we're going to be doing here on an actual service real quick so you guys are familiar with it. Okay, so this is the CK2610 right here. I guess we'll start off with everything here. First, we'll start from the front, work our way back. First, you got your quick attach right here. Pretty simple. You want to lubricate these pins here. Very, very important, because you want them to smooth, go in and out very easy. You see how easy that is? You want that to be able to go good. Next, greasing these pins on the loader. They're all inner tube grease fittings on the Kiotis, which is super important. You'll never bang them off. Next would be to actually get inside your engine. Okay, so right here on the CK10 series 26 version, they'll have this. On the 35 and 40, you won't have to extend this grill guard out. So we're extending it out. Now just pull your pull tab here. You'll hear it click, and then you'll be able to pop up your hood, which is on a hydraulic cylinder, quite nice and smooth. If you need to take off the hood for any reason, odd reason, you can. It's a couple cotter pins up front up there, and a main front headlight assembly plug. Air filter, first and foremost, clean that out. It will be covered in dust after 10 hours of use, guaranteed, and it will have dust inside it. Vacuum it out constantly, and that'll save you a little bit in the long run, because you can maintain these cheaper and longer than any other filter on this tractor. Next will be your battery. It doesn't hurt to rub a little grease or something right on your battery right here and keep it maintained from corrosion or something like that. Next, you're going to have your main screen right here, which you can take off right here and then undo and then pull it off and slide out, because there's your radiator and a couple different coolers, which you want to have the leaves and stuff and debris off of that at a constant rate. Top radiator cap there, and your radiator coolant overflow right here. Pretty simple. You'll see it's pretty low right now, so we're going to throw that some up there and top it off with some 50/50. Next, you're going to have your actual engine oil filter right here. Pretty standard right on the side. Changing your engine oil, we'll have a drain plug underneath this tractor right on the bottom of the oil pan. Right there, it's kind of orange. I don't know if you can see it, but you'll drain it out right there. Fill is going to be either on the 3510 and 4010. It will be right under your fuel filter right down here. On the 26, however, it's hidden up here on the top of the engine. It's very dark in here, but it's going to be right when you're looking at this little fuse box. It will be right in back of it right there. Okay, so that will be your fill. So pretty simple there. Checking your dipstick right here for your engine oil. Pretty simple right there. Fuel filter up there with a water separator plug, and then a main bottom plug to end the water out of there, and then turning on and off. There's a little lever right there to turn on and off. So changing it, you'll turn it off, and then you're gonna unscrew this, and then you are going to put a new one on, screw it on, turn your fuel back on. Make sure you put about half full of fuel in this filter before you screw it on. Turn your fuel on, prime it, self-primer, 1 or 2 or 3 pumps, and then you're good to go. You can fire your tractor back over. Front axle fluid, again, check it. There's a dipstick right on this. Unscrew it. It's your fill and your dipstick in one. Make sure there's oil on that dipstick there. Okay, drain plugs on this tractor are pretty simple. For this front axle, you are going to see there is going to be a few on each side. One on the bottom of the, right near the bottom of the tire right there, on both sides. And on some models there will be some, like these will be drain plugs right there. There'll be some as well. So just take them both off. Another grease fitting, most importantly and forgotten, is right under the front of that tractor. right down right there. You'll see a little grease fitting. Grease that all the time. That's your pivot point for your front axle. One of the most important grease fittings on this tractor. Next we come over here, okay, not too much to service around here besides maybe lubricating your seat forward and reverse some section there, and that's pretty much it over here. So it's pretty simple to maintenance as far as that goes over here. Another thing you want to check, I guess, before we walk totally to the back, and it's always forgotten, notice I almost forgot it here, is your loader bolts that go into your main frame of your tractor. Okay, if these are not checked with that adjustable wrench I was talking about, you will have problems, and it will take a toll on your actual frame of your full tractor if they become loose, because this is where the heavy lifting is all displaced in the front frame of the tractor and all the way to the mid. Okay, hydraulic filters. Okay, first one is going to be right under the if you're sitting on it, right side underneath, right there. And then the other side will have your other filter, your other hydraulic filter, if it's a hydrostatic. If it's just a standard, you'll only have the filter underneath the floorboard on that side. Draining that will be right, again, just like the engine oil, underneath the rear axle, basically, a drain plug, you'll undo it. Filling the hydraulic oil will be right in the back here. Right here, filling it, as well as this is your dipstick for your hydraulic oil in the back, all in one. The last thing I guess you could say is here's the fuel tank right back here. More fuel in the tank equals more ballast in the back, as well as putting your actual diesel supplement 1 or 2 shot glasses in this whole tank. And then the last but not least thing, keep a little bit of WD-40 around or something like that just to penetrate these and keep these, lubed up to spin around. Notice these are frozen because the paint from the factory, they're not even lubed up yet. And just stuff on like right here to spin this around and stuff like that. So I guess if that will pretty much do it on the full service on this tractor. Again, I'm Marshall Kirby from Orchard Hill Farm Equipment. I just wanted to show you guys how simple the maintenance is. That was basically a full 200-hour service on this tractor, and almost all of the service that will need to be done on this tractor if you are an owner. You can do it yourself, or you can have us do it here at Orchard Hill Farm Equipment. We're happy to help you. So again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care, guys. Thanks.